Now at 10, the Grove, Oklahoma Police Department is cracking down on crosswalk violations. Plus, what the 2021 Parsons, Kansas crime report shows, and local artists are selling their artwork to raise money for a historic building.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Grove, Oklahoma's police department has had several complaints about incidents in their downtown crosswalks. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The police department has received calls about dangerous situations with crosswalks on one of their main streets. Police chief says traffic is not always stopping for the pedestrians, but on the other hand, some pedestrians are not using actual crosswalks to go across the street. He says they're patrolling near the crosswalks and they give warnings to vehicles and to pedestrians.
We've talked about and looked at portable message boards. So as you're coming into that area, which is congested, those message boards would say, be cautious, pedestrians and crosswalks, trying to get that message out a lot better to the public.
Morris says they're also listening to residents' suggestions to make the downtown crosswalks safer. Parsons Police released their annual crime report for 2021 with data compiled from the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. The data shows the crime rate per capita is the lowest it's been since 2014. Violent crime is the lowest it's been since 2016, and property crime is the lowest since 2018. The numbers show that 2021 has the lowest amount of total crime reported since the PD started collecting the data back in 2003. And the police chief says hard work pays off.
And so this is actually a great step forward. And it's unique if you think about the staffing challenges that our agency has, as do all of the agencies throughout the region. So our staff is actually doing a significant amount of more work per capita, and yet still being able to serve the community.
You can view the entire report on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The suspect in a high-speed chase and a series of Joplin thefts from a senior living center, an apartment complex, and a hotel. That suspect gets a suspended sentence. He's Adam Gustafson of Joplin. Police arrested Gustafson in January after a safe stolen from a hotel was found near Cracker Barrel in Joplin. Police say Gustafson had fled in a stolen car and was suspected in the theft of a generator, tools, and other items. In a plea deal, Gustafson pleads guilty to receiving stolen property and gets 5 years probation. Let's check in with Sam Lane for a first look at the weather.
And the first check of the weather looks pretty good right now on radar. Not a whole lot going on. There were a few showers, and we're really more like sprinkles earlier today up in the northwestern parts of our area. That has now moved into central Missouri and has dissipated. Temperatures right now are not too bad, but this afternoon they were pretty warm, generally in the mid 80s across our area, upper 80s, even some 90s showing up in Nowata and Juan. It's 90 in Sedan today, as well as Grove and Miami, as well as Veneta and Parsons. And temperatures right now are pretty comfortable. They're generally now in the mid 70s in some locations like Cassville with 75, 76 in Carthage, 76 in Pittsburgh. But right now, still 80 degrees in Parsons as well as Neodesha. You want to stay tuned because we have some hot weather in our forecast, and I'll tell you all about it coming up.
All right, we'll see you then. An art exhibit in Independence, Kansas is raising funds to save a historic building. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
A historic building in Independence, Kansas could be saved by an art exhibit fundraiser. The historic post office, now turned into a museum, needs to be remodeled.
The next biggest challenge is the windows. We have over 36 windows, exterior windows. Some of them are deteriorating, some of them are dry rotted, some of them have broken panes, and again, we're at a point where we must do something.
To keep a piece of Independence history, Ray created a campaign to raise funds for the remodel.
Just the window project is over $200,000. The project to do the stone outside was over almost $70,000. That's a lot of money for a small 501c3 to come up with.
Selling art is one way to start collecting funds for the historic building.
So that we'd have this event as an example of ways that people could contribute to the museum. The museum gets 20% of each art piece that is sold here.
The art exhibit raises money for the museum while showcasing local talent in Independence.
We found out there are artists who have moved in recently to Independence that we didn't know were here, so they weren't on our list.
Reporting in Independence, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The Independence Historical Museum and Art Center are also accepting donations for its fundraiser. Artists and art fans gathered today at Joplin's Empire Market for day one of the Joplin Arts Fest 2022. The event brings in artists from all across the region to showcase and sell their work. There's also live music, good eats, and a community art project that everyone can participate in.
But art is such an important part of a community. You know, whether it's public art, like we have a couple of beautiful murals here on our building, or it's a print or a painting, a pair of earrings that someone made. You know, they had their vision and then they made it with their own two hands.
That Art Fest is going to continue tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Coming up, after months of planning, the Four States Music Festival comes to Pittsburgh, plus how a local elementary school is celebrating one of our nation's founding documents. Steadley Elementary School in Carthage celebrated a couple of things today. For starters, the kindergarten through third graders gathered to celebrate Constitution Day by reciting the preamble. Then they headed outside for this, a surprise, as truck drivers drove by the school in honor of Truck Driver Appreciation Week.
And I try to teach them the importance of truck drivers and being respectful of them and appreciative of them. When they grow up and become drivers, they need to be patient with truck drivers and what they do. But everything we have on, everything we eat likely came to us from a truck. We need to be appreciative of that.
There are a little more than 2 million truck drivers in the U.S. The Miami Regional Chamber of Commerce hosted the inaugural Women in Business Connection Conference. Professional and local speakers spoke on how to be authentically you. The conference consisted of general sessions and workshops throughout the day with vendors set up promoting and selling goods. The Four States Music Festival is finally here. Social House Entertainment hosted the event tonight at Pittsburgh State University. Featured country music artists including Chase Rice and Cameron Marlowe. There was also plenty of dancing, lawn games, and barbecue.
Well, I tell you what, we met with the wonderful leadership at Pittsburgh State University. They've had a desire to bring an event of this size, of this nature, to campus, increase student life, have fun, and you know, that's why we chose this area.
This was the first year of the Four States Music Festival. Organizers hope to do it again next year. Sam is going to be right back with the complete forecast. First, though, we take a moment to honor a local veteran. Lisa Milner served in the U.S. Air Force from 1991 to 2004. Her hometown, Tulsa, and we're proud to salute Sergeant First Class Lisa Milner, a four-state hero.
Well, we're starting off the weekend warm and dry yet again across the four states, and hopefully we're going to get some rainfall in here soon, but not in the immediate future anyway. Let's take a look outside right now at Seneca, Missouri with the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Pretty nice evening down there. Also pretty nice evening for football. A big game down there playing Lamar this evening. We'll get to that in just a second with Jacob in sports. This afternoon we made it up to 88 after starting out at 61, which was above normal for this time of year. 98 the records and 42 back in 1979. The drought is still a problem across our area, especially in southeastern Kansas and northeast Oklahoma with the extreme category. It's also getting dry again in southwestern Missouri and northwest Arkansas. We desperately need some rainfall, and it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see that. In fact, radar right now is clear. We did have a few sprinkles earlier this afternoon and evening in northwestern parts of our area. They moved up to the north into central Missouri and fell apart. So that kind of goes to show you what's been going on as far as the rainfall goes. Temperatures right now are in the 70s, not too bad. 74 in Lamar, 75 in Nevada, 67 cool degrees over there in Stockton right now. Meanwhile, it's in the mid 70s everywhere else, even a few lower 80s showing up in Parsons and for our friends over in Neosho. The good thing is that the dew points have been tolerable, so as a result, it's not been feeling muggy out there with dew points in the upper 50s to around 60 degrees, but that's going to be changing as well, and it's starting to get muggy again and that means it's going to start to feel sticky out there. Once again, more summer-like instead of fall. 77 right now in Joplin, feels like 79 because the dew point is at 58 degrees and the pressure is currently steady. The forecast for tonight, mostly fair with lows in the 60s across your area. 68 in Eureka and Yates Center, 66 for our friends in Greenfield. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. Again, very warm, temperatures right around 90 degrees, and especially to the west of Joplin, with 94 in Nowata, 92 in Welch. And then as we go through the evening into Sunday morning, we're going to see lows once again in the lower 70s with south winds. And then Sunday afternoon, hotter still with mid to upper 90s out to the west, mid 90s here in Missouri, and a little bit cooler off to the east. Then as we go into Monday morning, we're going to see southwesterly winds and lows generally in the 70s. Over the next 7 days, I really wish I didn't have to show this map, but 91 tomorrow, 94 on Sunday, 97 on Monday, 98 on Tuesday, and I just couldn't bring myself to throw 100 in there, but wouldn't be surprised to see some folks hit 100. I do think we'll probably break the record on Wednesday with a high of 97. So Dow,
wow,
what can I say?
Well, we thank you for not putting in the 100 anyway,
Yes,
even if we
okay.
do hit it eventually.
I'll try to keep it off the map.
We would appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks, Sam. Hey, Sam and I are getting out of here now, so we can turn it over to Jacob. Friday night football action straight ahead.
You're watching 4-Stage Friday Night, brought to you by GN Bank, Labette Health, KOAM, and the law offices of Stickland, Dryer, and Tinney.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into week 4 of 4-State Friday Night here on KOAM. I'm KOAM Sports Director Jacob Linder. Now, we got some huge games all across the area tonight. We're going to start in Joplin. The Joplin Eagles host a big early season COC showdown with the Webb City Cardinals. Now, Joplin is 3-0 coming into the night with wins over Branson, Willard, and Ozark. And they try to stay perfect against the Webb City team that's 2-1 in their first 3 games. The Joplin defense, great in the first half. Ball on the ground. Blake Farmer jumps on it. He actually had 2 fumble recoveries in the first half. Second quarter, Quinn Renfro gives the Eagles their first lead. Scoots in from 16 yards away. At that point, Joplin up 7-2. Still in the second. Look at this run. Drew Van Gilder. I lost him for a little bit, but there he goes. Eventually breaks one last tackle. 73 yards for Van Gilder. Joplin goes to half leading 14-2. Here comes Webb City though. Brecken Gallardo down the far side for the 31-yard score. Just like that, the Cardinals back within a touchdown. The next Joplin drive, 4th and 6, Hobbs Gooch. Clutch throw here to Davin Thomas. That moves the chains. Joplin gets a field goal, pushes the lead to 17-8. Back to Joplin's defense. Cards with 4th and goal from the 2. Eagles stuff them again, led by Draven Van Gilder. Then, look at this, Van Gilder reminded me how many times they stopped Webb City in case I forgot. Then to add to it, late 4th, Bennett Dahl, interception for Joplin. I'm telling you, Eagles defense was tough tonight. For the 3rd straight year, it's Joplin over Webb City, 24-8. The Carthage Tigers lost a heartbreaker last week, falling to Nixa, 22-21. It was their first loss to Nixa in 7 years and snapped a 23-game regular season winning streak for Carthage. Tonight, the Tigers hit the road to Carl Junction, looking to rebound against the Bulldogs. First quarter, high snap. Braden Odell tries to recover, but Caden Bollinger nabs it, runs it down into the end zone. It's 6-0 early lead for the Bulldogs. The Tigers regroup. Luke Gall, I had a feeling he was going to show up in these highlights. Down the far sideline, touchdown Carthage. Now the kick no good after that. That's okay. Later, Gall finds a path through the center again. Another touchdown for him. That's kind of what he does. This time, PAT would be good. Makes it 15-9 Carthage. Tigers start slow, but in the end, they roll by the Bulldogs 48-12. Well, in the Big 8, Lamar and Seneca are both off to hot starts this season. Both teams are 3-0, and really, none of their games have been close. Lamar has pitched 3 straight shutouts to begin the season, outscoring their opponents 125-0. On the other side, Seneca's won their first 3 games by a combined score of 151-15. And these two teams meet tonight in Seneca, and only one of them leaving the field undefeated. Lamar comes out strong. Handoff here goes to Ty Wilhite. Gets to the outside, 17 yards for the score. And next Tigers possession, Austin Wilkerson gets in from a few yards out. It is now 14-0 Lamar. But momentum starts to shift in the second. Joel Beshore keeps. Jackson Mars helps knock the ball loose. Blake Hearn jumps on it. Big time turnover for the Indians. They get the ball with a chance to tie it. Gavin Hoover flips it to Mars on the far side. He powers through the Lamar defense and gets into the end zone. Extra point is missed, so it's 14-13 Lamar at half. Then in the third quarter, off a punt, Lamar fumbles the snap and Seneca recovers it in the end zone for a touchdown. Then Hoover to Hagen Ginger for the 2-point conversion. Indians have their first lead. What a battle tonight. Seneca, though, scores with a minute left. They knock off Lamar 36-33. Staying in the Big 8, the Mount Vernon Mountaineers off to a 3-0 start this season after only winning one game last season. Tonight they suffer their first loss, falling to Logan Rogersville 26-8. The Mountaineers will try to rebound with a tough one next week at home against Nevada. Turning now to Southeast Kansas, the Girard Trojans host the Galena Bulldogs tonight in a big CNC rivalry game. Girard is 2-0 in the first two games with wins against Columbus and Colgan. Galena 1-1, aiming to bounce back from a tough loss to Quapaw, Oklahoma last week. Start of the second half here. Zane Turner getting in there for the Galena touchdown. Game is tied. Later, Girard has a response here. Dude shows up in the highlights for Girard all the time. This is Alex Kester, long touchdown run. Girard is back on top. Now a few minutes later, Trojans still doing some damage. Quarterback Luke Nigaman finds Caleb Scales on the deep ball. That leads to this. Fourth quarter, Nigaman to Ethan Davidson. Girard pulls away from Galena tonight. They win at 41-20. The Columbus Titans, fresh off their first win of the season over Afton, Oklahoma, hit the road to Coffeyville tonight facing Field Kinley. Look at this. It's the Golden Tornado winning 34-19 over the Titans. Field Kinley is now 3-0 to begin the season. Well, the Parsons Vikings try to get to 3-0 this evening on the road against Iola. Another nice offensive night for Parsons. They win at 40-14. Vikings try to remain unbeaten next week at home against Baxter Springs. Well, that brings us to our one and only break here on 4 State Friday night. When we come back, Pittsburgh Purple Dragons face former SEK rival Labette County, plus Nevada aims to stay undefeated on the road against McDonald County. We'll have those highlights and more next. The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons are off to an 0-2 start this season after falling to former SEK rival Chanute 28-13 last week. Tonight, the Purple Dragons return home to face another former SEK rival in Labette County. The Grizzlies also 0-2 coming into the night, so that means one of these teams leaving with their first win of the year. Labette County's second drive of the game here, tied up. Kendall Holtzman throws it deep. Perfect throw to Trey Vinson. Grizzlies up early 6-0. Labette County with the ball again later in the first. Jamal Jackson puts it on the ground. Purple Dragons recover. Now Pittsburgh looking to capitalize here. Wyatt Rink punches it in. PAT good. Dragons have their first lead at 7-6, and they would extend their lead here. Look at Connor Profit. Refuses to go down. Tiptoes his way in for 6. Pittsburgh goes on to win at 28-20. It's the Purple Dragons' first win under head coach Josh Latimer. Now to Chanute. The Blue Comets host Tonganoxie tonight, trying to get to 3-0 this year. Comets roll again, 41-17 the final. Chanute is back on the road next week, facing Ulysses. On the Tri-Valley League tonight, the Humboldt Cubs hit the field at home against Neoda Shea. Humboldt rolls in a shutout, 44-0. Cubs are now 3-0 to start the season. They'll be on the road next week against Council Grove. The Nevada Tigers, they're destroying everybody so far this season. Nevada beat East Newton last week 68-0. They've outscored their first 3 opponents by a combined 150 points. The Tigers on the road tonight against Big 8 rival McDonald County, trying to stay hot and get to 4-0. First quarter, Isaac Bim on the receiving end for the Mustangs touchdown. McDonald County goes up 7-0. The second quarter, Nevada responds. Avius Stedman into the end zone for the Tigers. That gets him within 1, but check this out. Right before half, Destin Dowd, another good pass here. Dalton McLean, back of the end zone. Look at the grab and the toe tap. How about this? McDonald County hands Nevada its first loss of the season tonight, 27-26. Another one in the Big 8 here, Cassville and East Newton. Cassville 2-1, trying to bounce back from a big loss to Seneca. And that's what they did. The Wildcats winning tonight 35-0. Cassville hosts McDonald County next week. The College Heights Cougars picked up their first win in program history last week, beating Greenfield 78-40. College Heights, sitting at 1-2, has a chance to get back to 500 this evening on the road against Liberal. Now the Bulldogs, 2-1, fresh off a shutout win over Osceola. Logan Decker looking downfield. Throw gets picked off by Chase Ray. Later, College Heights with the ball back. Decker this time connects with Caleb Quaid. That is a Cougars first down. Now this time, Decker cuts, takes it in for the touchdown. At that point, it's 8-0 College Heights. Other side now. Peyton Morrow takes the snap, runs down the sideline. He'll get to the 10, then Morrow looking to throw it, but instead takes it in himself. That ties the game up at 8. We'll skip ahead to the second quarter now. Morrow kind of doing it all. Breaks away from his defenders. He is free for the touchdown. Liberal goes on to win it at home. Final score 54-38. And that's all the time we have here on 4 State Friday night. Be sure to switch over to our sister station, Fox 14, at 11 o'clock for week 3 of Press Box. It's a 30-minute show. It's all high school football. Again, Fox 14 at 11 o'clock. We'll have even more highlights and scores from all across the area. For now, though, we are out of time. Thanks for staying up late with us. We'll see you right back here next week.